Hello and welcome in. Genshin has just dropped one of the most lore bomb heavy teasers ever. Uh, we have finally gotten a glimpse of the shades of the heavenly principles. Uh, we've been waiting for years for it, and I'm losing my mind a little bit. Let's get into the video, and I will talk a bit about uh, some parts of it and go through my notes, my theory notes. Let's go.
This world has always been so. Life abides no reason.
That is our first look at Naberius, the shade of life. And she just said life abides by no reason.
For none are born by their own consent.
Very suspicious.
Death abides no reason.
Our very first look at Ronova, the shade of death. And seeing this confirms various Homa, this shape here, symbolism, including Staff of Homa, which is wielded by, or it's Arlecchino's signature weapon. And yes, it seems to be dedicated to death, or Ronova herself. And these wings also heavily hints that the statue of the omnipresent god in Inazuma is her and not Istaroth. Another shade that we'll see in a bit, as many have suspected actually. Like, yeah, it's her, maybe.
For it cannot be defied, even by those who see it coming. Time abides no reason.
Our first glimpse at Istaroth, the shade of time, or I believe, and in the story we have learned the most about her accomplishments, like how she aided Enkonomiya, and it's also confirmed in all 4 regions that she shares the same voice actress as Venti, which basically confirms their connection, and it's also implied that since Mondstadt, since the beginning, that time and wind are connected. Like, for example, the Secret Island Sundial lore. But over time, a worship of time has dissipated, which leaves only wind, and we don't know why that is yet. And Istaroth is also implied to be the most friendly to humans, since she aided Enkonomiya as well as Inazuma, and she seems to be the most quiet in the meeting we see the shades have later on.
For it deprives us all equally, yet brooks not a second to be reclaimed. Space abides no reason.
This is Asmodee, or the Sustainer, shade of space. We saw her at the beginning of the game, actually. We'll circle back to her, though.
The ruler of space stopped the golden-haired twin travelers and mercilessly tore them apart.
But Asmodee, she's saying that Asmodee did that. And just now, it looks like she was killed by Ronova.
No. This looks more like Rhinedottir's doing.
So, it's implied that this lady that was speaking just now, the old lady, was an experiment by, of Rhinedottir's. And Rhinedottir created Albedo and I believe the Melusines as well. and she was about to say Naberius, and we'll kind of see why in a bit.
Please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre creations.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
So, like, she mentioned that everything's tainted with space. And remember that it is speculated that space and the void, the abyss and the void are the same. So saying something is tainted by space could mean that the world has already fallen to the abyss, and has been implied that the universe outside of Genshin is bleak and desolate. So could it be that the abyss is a universal corruption spreading its tendrils across the worlds?
You seem to wield my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for your amusement. Although merging with you has stripped me of agency, I shall still continue to voice my disapproval. My dear Rhinedottir, you have my respect, Naberius. Your nagging is one of the only things that can get under my skin.
So that was Naberius, the shade of life we saw at the beginning, and it is implied that Rhinedottir basically consumed Naberius, and made her way to, into a seat at the meeting of the shades that we'll see later. So yeah, and it's not sure how they work with each other, but it implies that each have a little control over each other.
And you, Istaroth, why did you bestow history upon them?
So when Ronova asks this, like why she bestowed history upon them could be implying the traveler, which lends credence to the idea that that our memory is about where we came from could be falsified. So did we actually come from the stars, or is it a story, a fable written by Istaroth?
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not? After all, it's clear that Asmodee is not here.
Well, perhaps you could share your input a little earlier next time. But you're right. There's no trace of Asmodee here. Where has she gone? Anyway, it's time I put this space out of its misery.
These meetings are just a formality. Does it really matter that only 3 of us are here?
I, for one, think that we should find her.
So we find out here that these shades of the heavenly principles are secretly congregating in a higher plane, like outside of Teyvat. And we find out that yes, I'll show.
Since the heavenly principles cast us as shades, not one of us has ever missed a meeting.
What if she just switched sides?
We're talking about Asmodee.
Finding her would do more harm than good. Now there's an interesting idea. Better than being devoured.
Just switched sides? You make it sound like such a trivial affair. We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable. Unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
So, like, we're seeing that um, they're getting nervous and kind of want to find Asmodee, at least she does. And they're meeting for the first time without Asmodee. And yeah, we haven't seen Asmodee or like the Sustainer in present time. And like the glimpse of her we did see recently in the story quest is from the past. And what she just said now implies that Asmodee has a new master, and that's like the biggest, like one of the biggest connections we have to maybe like how Asmodee might be Paimon. Like, and yeah, so I think that's crazy. Ah! And yeah, we've never seen Sustainer in the present time. Could it be that Paimon is Asmodee? And when she says Asmodee might love her new master more than her own self, she might be talking about Traveler. Yeah. It's crazy.
Ronova, do you know that you're being watched?
By whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far?
So this is a really cool scene where we see that they could detect Piero's gaze from outside their higher plane. And it looks like he is looking at them, like, because that's what they think that he's doing. So not sure what powers he has, but damn.
I remember those eyes. It was just before I placed the curse of immortality.
Ah, yes. He's an old acquaintance of mine. I'm sure that working for the Tsaritsas helped him let go of his past obsessions.
The Cryo Archon. With her paltry powers, she dares set her gaze on the heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles have yet to awaken. If I were her, I wouldn't pass on that opportunity either. My dear Rhinedottir, you know I cannot allow you to think that way. It was purely hypothetical, Naberius.
For lack of a direct order,
Suspicious.
I say it's time we intervened. Of course, to the extent permitted by the rules.
The gaze of the gods has always been considered a blessing. Hence the origin and meaning of visions.
Visions!
People have always yearned for the gaze of the gods. And yet, it is said that when mortals look directly upon the gods, they invite their wrath and retribution. And what of it? Lives will be lost, a nation brought to ruins. So be it. It is nothing I have not endured before. I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god? The god stays silent. as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this. Behold. Even the gods have their limits.
Wow. Exciting times. Exciting times.
Inspection over. Return to your posts.
Make sure the Frostmoon Scions don't pose a threat.
Per the Pale Star Edict, we are to retrieve the damselette from Nod-Cry,
Columbina.
whatever it takes.
I'm saving my pulls for her. I think I have like 140 plus pulls right now saved already, specifically for her. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's not confirmed if she's playable, but if she is, that'll be amazing. So yeah, this teaser showed so much of they showed the shades of the heavenly principles. They showed some of the new areas that will be released in future patches. It's crazy. And they showed a bit of, I guess like some of these would be in the region where, no, it's Snezhnaya, yes. Might be in Snezhnaya too. Yeah, of course. Girl, I can't wait to meet the Cryo Archon. And Damselette, of course. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, lots of theories out there, and it's exciting times. Yes, thank you again. I'll see you next time. I'll end it here.